Al-Salam. Queen Phoenix Ramadan L. Jackson, back in the light of Al Brazeera Cyber Network. Welcome to the Capricorn Full Moonlight video conversation regarding social economic reparations for the enslavement and dehumanization and the dehumanizing brutalization of the African American population in the United States. This is part 2. African Americans continue to be villainized because it is just good PR for the genocide, for their genocide, as it is in Palestine, Iraq, Syria, Libya, Egypt, and Afghanistan, and all the other oppressed red blood nations of our planet. The African Americans are not only disenfranchised from participating in the global market, they are slain on the streets of the very communities in which they were born. This is state-sponsored terrorism by the demonic blue blood beings that are hiding in high places and principalities, just as spoken of, okay? Just as prophesied that they would be doing, okay? Now, African Americans are economically disenfranchised from participating in the global market, which makes them defenseless, which makes them completely vulnerable. Which makes their collective circumstance very grave, and it places them in a state of vulnerability to a predatory criminal justice system, or system of criminal injustice. And that criminal injustice is continuously perpetrated upon them, okay, to which they are slain before the very eyes of their mothers, who remain defenseless to protect the life of their very innocent young and mid-teen teenagers, okay, their children. As the motto goes, out of creating chaos comes their order, new world order. Thus, the unjust criminal system of the inhumane blue bloods create chaos among humanity to establish their unnatural Babylonian demonic new order, by which the natural world for humankind is to dysfunction, according to the absolute rule of the Zionist blue bloods, or the blue blood fake Israelis, right? Zionist Israelis, okay. So everyone's to behave dysfunctionally. That's normal in the commercial world. To be dysfunctional, that's normal. To be natural or normal is to be abnormal, okay, or to be considered mad or crazy or insane. Now, okay, so that it has become more. Now the planet has become, with all the chaos, okay, has become, and all the chaos and planned dysfunction has become no more than an internment, concentration camp, ghetto, shanty town maintained by human flesh-eating, bloodthirsty, blue blood, alien slumlords. Okay? Now, humanity must be aware until social economic reparations are made to the African American population and other enslaved nations, African nations of the world, there can be no ascension for the human race, simply because they will not be provided the nourishment, they will not be providing the nourishment to the root of the family tree that is needed to elevate and heal the family tree. Okay? So, if the root of the tree is dying, the tree is dying. If the root of the tree is attacked, the tree is attacked. Okay? If the root of the tree is hemorrhaging, the tree is hemorrhaging. Okay? So, if Africans are socially economically disenfranchised from participating in the global market, then humanity is socially economically disenfranchised from participating in the global market, because a human family tree is one. What you do to the root, you do to the tree. Okay? So, if Africa is starved to death, it is all of humanity that is starved to death. Okay? So now, because Africa is the roots of humanity, it's the roots of the family tree, which the rest of the tree is fed. It is fed to grow mature and mature strong. It is by no surprise that the continent of Africa is wealthy in natural resources. The African population of the world are gifted, or the African populations of the world are gifted with abundant creative abilities. Okay? Gifts and creative abilities are inherent human resources. Similar to the precious gems, I'll start that one again, okay? Gifts and creative abilities are inherent human resources that are implanted at the root of the family tree. Similar to the gems, minerals, or the oil or other natural resources that are buried in the earth. The human family tree is nourished from the cultural wealth stored at the root of its family tree, a history of culture that has been emulated from the implantation of the human, from the first implantation of the human family. Okay, well, when the human family was first planted on Earth. Okay, that's how long humanity has been emulating the African root, its African roots. Okay, in song, dance, music, style, consciousness, architecture, just science, medicine, you name it, astronomy, agriculture, you name it, it's been emulated, okay, by all the other cultures, all the other parts of the tree, okay, because the nutrients flow from the root to the every branch, every seed, every fruit, every leaf, everything comes from the root. Okay? Everything comes from Africa. Like they say, all roads lead back to Africa. All roads lead back to the root. Okay? Now, okay. So, okay. So, that is why African people are emulated, as stated. Among all of humanity, they are the ones that emulate the most. You don't hear nobody driving down the street bumping Asian music. You don't hear nobody bumping Chinese music. You don't hear nobody. All cultures you'll find at some point, all cultures will bump the African sound, rock, the African style. Even religion is based upon the African consciousness. Okay, they just, and everybody knows it. It's just that the Africans don't know it themselves, how valuable they are as it relates to the human family. Okay, everybody knows it. Everybody's biting off of the roots, but the roots themselves do not know the value of themselves, and they must know. You must become aware of your value. You must become aware of your importance. Okay? You must become aware of your significance, your beauty, your divinity. Okay? You must. Okay? Now, so the entire tree is nourished by the roots. Okay, by its roots, its African roots. Okay? Now, so have you ever asked yourself, okay, the roots know why Michael Jackson is so popular, the most popular person, one of the most popular persons ever in history outside of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Probably only Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is more popular, but certainly Michael Jackson would be second most popular human being to ever live on the face of this planet. Okay, and that is because he was born of the root. Okay, he was born of the root, born to positively nourish and inspire all humanity. He was born with the power, the ability to inspire all humanity to love divinely one another. Okay? His love was to be disseminated throughout the family tree. Okay? From the rooter to the tutor. Okay? And that's from the bottom to the top. Okay? Now, so, and the only ones who hated him, okay, the only ones who hated him were those who, what did I say? Who were the cannibal Rothschild Zionists of Babylon, okay? Because they don't want humanity to love one another, and they especially don't want that love coming from the root, okay, to nourish the tree and make it strong and healthy, okay? Michael loved humanity in a divinely healthy manner, okay, to which he was persecuted, none different than the prophet born of a virgin himself, or any other of humanity who came to lead and guide humanity to spiritual health. Okay. Now they hated him. They hated the non-starter because he was. They could not, get him to stop preaching love, to stop loving humanity, stop loving himself. You know what I'm saying? Because to love humanity is to love oneself. Okay? So, because he was uniting the human family and heading them and guiding them back to their natural ability to love one another, okay, and especially the children, because they need to love the most, right? As they generally do within the household, right? So now the fake blue blood abomination wants, the fake Israeli blue blood abomination wants to replace the human race, and it wants to start at the root. It wants to remove or erase the human race from the face of the earth, and it wants to start at the root. And why not? I mean, that appears for them to be the easiest way to kill the whole tree. Why start with to kill a leaf at a time or a branch at a time? Just kill the root, right? And tell the rest of the branch and the tree trunk it's not a part of the roots, okay? Okay? And if the trees can't, I mean, the branches, they don't, you know, if they don't seek to protect the, you know, to protect the roots, then the tree is going to diminish, I mean, to die, right? Okay, so now, so they want to replace the family tree, the red blood family tree, okay, the human family tree, and replace it with their blue-blooded tree. And that was the video I showed with the abomination planting a tree in the fake nation, the fake Israeli abomination, okay? That was a tree of the blue bloods that were being planted, and removing the tree of the red bloods, or the red-blooded human family, okay? That was a family tree, okay? Now, so this is so apparent, okay, that they are so desperate, and their desire to replace themselves as the dominant family, or the dominant race on the planet. They are so desperate that their blue-blooded queen has abdicated her toilet seat throne to Little Willie's wife, okay, Kate, just so he can intercourse with her, like they do at the summer solstice, right? Intercourse with her, and Little Willie can become a man, right? Because that's how it's done. And we'll talk about that. Now, so to which, okay, she abdicated, and so that he could intercourse so Little Willie could abdicate Kate. I mean, so Little Willie could intercourse with Kate, right? And become a man. The little boy Willie can be, okay, their so-called prince can be demonic prince, right? Because they emulate the family of humans, right? The human race, right? So the human race has a godly family, a holy family, right? And that will be the family of Abraham, Prophet Abraham, right? So they got to have a holy family too, okay? And that would they emulating the black nobility, the real black nobility, okay? So they are the opposite of that. They would be what? The white ill nobility, because they'd be the opposite. But actually they would be the gray nobility, right? And with no ability. They have no ability. The black has ability. The white has no ability. And what I mean by the white, certainly not the white that comes out of Africa. I'm talking about the white that comes out of that was emulating the white Africans, okay, our brothers and sisters, okay, because there are okay, now so she abdicated to Kate, so little Willie can become a boy. Now she abdicated. They wanted to replace the human race so bad, to which Prince Rogers Nelson had to be sacrificed, right? Because little Prince Nelson represented a prince, right? He represented a prince. His name was Prince. So he had to be sacrificed, and he represented the boy, because once the man intercourses, he becomes a man. So the boy is symbolic. The boy dies, right? And the man lives on, right? The man moves on, lives on, goes through the remainder of the cycles, right? And until, he reaches Capricorn, and then he starts the cycle all over again, right? So Prince represented Willie, little Willie, okay, as a boy, and that's why he had to be sacrificed, so that the Willie, okay, could become a man after intercourses, and he became supposedly, and this was demonstrated by what they say his wife is now pregnant with twins, right? Okay. She's supposedly now, and that's supposed to represent what? The mutable signs at this time with Gemini, right? Because she's got twins, right? All the mutable signs represent twins, right? So twin flames, twin this, twin that, twin whatever. So she's supposed to be having twins on Christmas Day, right? And if you think that's not planned, then you got another thing coming, okay? They plan everything, okay? Even the false flags. Okay, so everything is planned, right? Okay, so Prince had to be sacrificed as the boy Prince, okay, and so that the prince could go on and become a man, right? Okay. So, because what most people do not realize is that the story of the universe is a love story about true love, right? Now, it involves the 4 cardinal points, and I spoke about that before. I wrote about that before on Facebook, okay, about the love story which the universe represents in the beginning of the mating season is represented by Valentine's Day. Easter represents the erection of man, resurrection, right? And then Mother's Day represents the intercoursing with mother, and then the beginning of intercourse with the mother, and then the summer solstice represents, right, so hot that the intercourse takes place. Then the 4th of July we have Independence Day. That's like the ejaculation, right? And then you have the birth of the king, right? Leo, right? And then when the king is born, the boy dies, right? And that goes back to the symbolic of. We'll talk about that, what that's symbolic of, right? Okay, and then on the third cardinal sign, the first cardinal sign is the beginning of the mating stage, right? At Aries, right? Got to get through that door. Got to get through that door to become reborn again. That spark of life, right? And then the second cardinal sign is the intercourse. Then the 4th cardinal sign is after intercourse, what happens? The fall, right? The penis falls. The phallic all falls, because that's why it's a phallic system, right? The penis falls. Then it goes, as it goes into the waters, right? The Tropic of Capricorn, the waters of the woman, right? At Capricorn, it's what? It's coldest day of the year. The penis is no energy, no power. It's like death, right? So way out in cold space, the deep water of space, right? So therefore there's no erection. That's why it's got to be resurrected. That's why it's got to go all the way back up to Ra to get that become ignited again, right? To become resurrected again, to be hard again, to become strong again, so we get intercourse again, right? Love story. Okay. And then what? So the universe is a true love story, but about life and death, right? Okay, of the story of the Phoenix, right? Okay, so okay, so as we said, most don't realize. Oh, I got it. No, I can wait. Okay, most don't realize that the universe is about a true love story. Okay, and as we said, it involves the 4 cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Okay, and the first, as we said, being Ra, Mama Ra. Get back to Mama's pouch. okay? Like the kangaroo, get back in that pouch, get warm, you regenerate, okay? Resurrect, okay? Then we get strong enough, okay? And what you call it? Valentine's Day is significant of demonstrating the beginning of the, as we say, the mating season. Okay, the ritual mating season. So we go back to Ra. Okay, that's the first point. Okay, the first cardinal sign, and that's the cardinal sign which the homosexual Papa Vatican represents, right? At the Vatican represents, he wants to hold that position down, right? Okay, and we already talked about why it's a why he's they pedophile homosexual, they're homosexual pedophiles, okay, filers, or that's not a word, but they are pedophiles, okay, and they are predators upon little boys, right? Because the son, the male phallic represents the sun, okay, the masculinity. It represents the masculinity, and it has to go back up at Ra, right? Okay, so it has to go back to the mother. It has to go to the woman, right? So it can become strong in intercourse with the woman, with the mother, right? To get life again, right? To produce life again, right? So it can regenerate life. Okay, so but if he's there, if the man is there, the so-called father is there representing life and regeneration. Men don't give birth, okay? They don't give life, okay? So if he's there, where's the son going to go? But up his ass, right? Okay, that's why the phallic he's a homo. That's why the Vatican has so much homosexuality and prostitution, because the black woman, okay, the beautiful, sexy, hot black woman, okay, not unlike myself, mashallah, subhanallah, okay, she naturally represents is incarnated to represent the beautiful black night universe, right? Okay, and her beautiful, sexy, holiest of holies, right? Okay, so, to which man is to intercourse in the holiest of holies, right? So, that's heaven between the mountain, right? Okay, but anyway, making Hajj, you go to the mountain, right, to get to the climax, right? Okay, so, anyway, so if he's there, right, where's the son going to go? As I said, butt up his ass, okay? So, and I think I already went over that part. But anyway, okay, so, so the black woman, because she's naturally to represent the universe and the female aspect of the feminine aspect of the divine love, right? Celestial divine love. So naturally, she's got they use her beauty, exploit her beauty, to be a sex object, a sex toy. Okay, they rape her of her beauty. Okay, that's what the story of Medusa comes from. Okay, where the beauty is raped, and her hair, her beautiful hair, okay, which is locks, which is arms that are like the spiral around the galaxies, right? They come out in spiral, and they make that symbol of the six, right? Okay, so yeah, so they try to exploit that energy, okay, that position, okay, and demean her, okay. So we talked about that, okay. In order to keep feminine, the feminine energy, or the female oppressed, by denying her position, okay, her recognition. Okay, and that's done on the spiritual plane, the astral plane, and in spirituality, which would represent the astral plane. That's done in spirituality, and it's done in the commercial world, okay? In the commercial paradigm, where women have to prostitute, or some of them prostitute themselves in order to achieve their financial goals, okay? And they become exploited. Feminine energy is exploited. Let me go to video 2. Assalamu alaikum.